What is torque, basically? So the idea is that a movement is a screw and not a nail. So in order to create torque, one hand stays still and the other one starts cranking. That's what creates torques. For example, I will give an example right now. William, please come here. Of, in that case, internal rotation. If he's going to fight me this way, fight me this way. There you go. This is internal rotation. So there is none of this. This is now how he's going to fight me. Like imagine you're pushing a wall away, right? When he does this, that's internal rotation. You can see the engagement of the short head of the bicep, and you can see the engagement of the chest. Nice and strong right there. Thank you. Like gymnastics, when they do the iron cross, right? That's internal rotation. They don't necessarily have to turn all the way, but you're going to see the short head of the bicep and the chest getting engaged. That's rotation. So I don't necessarily have to turn the arm. All I have to do is to engage those two, fighting this way. That's internal rotation. Okay? So, first things first. What is a pull? In order to create a pull, I have to externally rotate without moving the elbow. A pull is an external rotation. So the push, the opposite of a pull, is going to be the same idea, but in internal rotation. That's when you see when you punch. It's not so much that they're moving their wrists, it's just they're creating so much torque here at the shoulder level that it naturally makes them internally rotate the hand, but the idea really is that the elbow doesn't go up either. You see most boxers, they don't do this, they stay in line. And so that's how you create the most torque possible, is you internally rotate in, right? That's how you create power on a push, is through internal rotation. Okay, does that make sense? Any questions on this? Yes?
How about with the push-up?
Same idea, it's a push. Any form of pushing is here, right? So it's external, internal, external, internal, external, internal, right? Without moving the hand, that's how you create tension. The hands don't move, but you're going to go slightly like this to engage the pec. If I go to an external and engage the lats, I disengage the pec. Can you be externally rotated and engage the chest at the same time? The answer is no. Now let me ask you a question. When you receive a snatch in an overhead position, is it a push or is it a pull? Are you pushing the bar or are you pulling it? You're pushing it, right? Okay. Which rotation is that? Internal. How many of you are receiving a snatch in an internal rotation? So let me go back to William again, so I can torture him all weekend. That's what happens when you're the owner of the box. You get to go in front of the camera every time. Smile. So, snatch the way it goes. If he fights me, what happens? Fight me normally. Yeah, there we go. Internal rotation, right? Externally rotate. Know what I mean? What does he has to do? He has to lean forward. Why? Because he took the chest out. Does that look like he has any strength here? If he wants to fight me, what does he has to do? Go ahead, fight me. Either he's going to push his head forward or reset, fight me this way. Right. Now he can engage the chest, he can be strong. So if he wants to externally rotate, fight me, he's going to have to lean forward. You know what I mean? So which one do you think is the best one? So all of you are snatching, receiving, externally rotating. That means you disengage the chest. That means you disengage all the pushing mechanism, going into a pull mechanism. That means loading your T-spine and everything. That's the problem. So problem number one is, out of explaining rotation and this, suddenly you go like, I got a problem. Does that make sense? Richard, I'm going to go on a tangent a little bit. What is mobility? Mobility is range of motion while keeping the proper rotation, while keeping torque. That's what mobility is. Everything else is flexibility, which is not the same thing. Mobility is a range of motion that you have while maintaining torque. Does that make sense? Okay. So I think what happened is, if you maintain torque, like you maintain the bicep and the chest here, you start to go, there's a moment where you're going to start losing it. Most people don't work on that mobility, so they start here. So they couldn't go overhead, completely overhead while maintaining internal rotation. So what did they say? They say, oh, then we're going to externally rotate because that makes it easier. Is making it easier the point? No. So again, I think from the get-go, they decided they wanted to be able to do this, and they're wrong. So who has tried the overhead yoke carry? Cool. Any of you that have tried, are you ever externally rotated on the yoke carry? No, right? You guys, you're all going to try, so you'll see what I mean. But the first thing you do to stabilize is you internally rotate, because that's the only way you can engage the chest and the lats at the same time. By the way, internal rotation does not mean displacement, right? So that doesn't mean I don't get to engage my lats. I don't want to change your technique on the snatch. I just want you to understand how to create tension. So the second I want my lats engaged, and then my chest engaged. So now I'm strong. It's not this where I disengage my lats. Again, I am not trying to change your technique. I just want you to understand how to create tension through rotation, creating torque, basically. And anything overhead is internal. Yeah.
So if I understand it right, you fix the shoulder blade or the humerus in an external position and you engage the internal rotators to keep the position strong.
Exactly. And now I got the pyramid of tension and everything goes up and down.
Okay.
But if I disengage the chest, I go like this. So now what I need to do, I need to lean forward to compensate. And now I'm doing that, which is not nearly as strong of a position. That's why you see all the Chinese lifters here. You notice like they all put their chin down all the time? It's because you can activate the chest better. That's why they do it. So it's not a matter of, yeah, the shoulder blade flexibility, that comes after. The point is, it's internal rotation. You know who has the best internal rotation out there? Gymnasts. You know that all the Chinese weightlifters, when they're kids, guess what they do first? Gymnastics. So they all know how to internally rotate properly. They go into lifting, it's obvious to them that they have to keep activated. Western world, kids don't do shit until they're 13 and start picking up a bar, so they have no idea what internal rotation feels like. Everything in strongman is internally rotated. Guess who does strongman all the time? They call it farming. It's all the Russian kids. I mean, short and farming.